Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Andy, aka It's Guidance to You, and I am back with another episode of Surface Level Conversations, and I have a special guest with me, Keyuna.
Yes.
She has her own podcast, y'all, and she goes deep. I think we found each other online, so
yeah. Somebody who followed us both, Kevin actually, he had sent me your stuff and was like, "Oh, you should definitely dive in." And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure."
Yeah, he sent me yours too.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, you should dive in." So I was like, "Okay, I got you." So y'all, we're about to go deep, surface level deep. So y'all want to sit down, get your wine, whatever you need,
whatever,
and tune into this episode. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I've been ready. It's been a long time, something.
Yeah, it has.
It has.
It really has. I've been excited to get to know you and to be on your podcast.
Oh, I have to. I can't wait to be on yours.
Yeah, for sure. I've already got a topic for us, so I'm excited. But I'm excited.
I'm scared. I'm scared. But it's okay. So, let's talk about you.
Okay.
I want to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure my audience do too. So,
sure.
Dive in. Tell us a little bit about you.
I don't even know where to start. I feel like that's a job interview question.
It is?
Where it's like, yeah, and then I start with generic shit. Honestly.
I'm going to need you to go with, like,
what?
We don't do generic here. We do when people want to know, like.
I know, it's a need to know.
It's a need to know. So, who are you in the present moment? I like to go with present moment.
Present moment?
Yes.
I really feel like I'm healing. I really feel like I'm on the most spiritual journey I've ever been on in this age. I feel like my awareness is at the most height it could be at this time. I feel like this year I've came back to like the little girl of Keyuna, really. Like without a choice. I feel like I came back to, and it's been fun because I feel like coming up I was really strict on myself or too mature to where I just wasn't really having as much fun as I wanted to with what Keyuna really deems as fun. And so yeah, this year I really dived into like just stuff I want to do and myself and learning myself and being okay with who I am, because I feel like for years, informative years, especially coming up, I wasn't as much as I thought I was.
Okay. I like that. So you're going back and you're healing your inner child without actually wanting to focus on healing your inner child.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I didn't.
You didn't plan on this. You was like, I'm not working on this.
Turned on, another year. I was excited. I turned 25 this year. I was excited to be 25. Everybody says that's a milestone within itself. And I didn't plan on. Yeah, I didn't plan on like being in a journey of the healing that I am now at all, or like putting myself out there this year for the things that I've accomplished this year. I had no plans for it, but God did, so I just went with His plan.
You was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna
flow. Because anytime I make a plan, I can hear Him laughing, and so yeah,
it was like, yeah, you thought, but this is it.
Every time,
this is what you're gonna do.
Every time, it never fails.
Yeah. So you say you have done some accomplishments. Like you have accomplished a lot this year. So what are some of your accomplishments?
My biggest accomplishment, I'll go deeper into say something that's not tangible. My temper and my mouth.
Oh,
yeah.
I think
that this, because I could name a lot of stuff that I feel like when I die won't really matter. So what really matters? I'm snappy. Or I can be snappy, real quick on that.
Yeah.
And I think I've been moving with more grace this year.
I love that.
And even more with myself, because I used to have no grace for myself. And so my problem has been my temper with myself. So I think I'm more graceful with myself. I don't get mad at Keyuna as much as I used to. And I give her more leeway to make mistakes.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
That's probably the biggest accomplishment. And I did it really for my sisters, because my sisters look after me a lot. I got 2 sisters, and they really want to be like me. So it's like I really got to tighten up sometimes and lock in, because I don't really pay attention to how much they're paying attention to me until I see myself, and then I'm like, oh, okay, bet. Reflection. And I'm like, yeah no, that's not it. That ain't it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, so you are in your inner child phase.
Damn.
While you are basically teaching your children. I would say your children, your sister, that are children.
Yes. I
Ooh.
think awareness is important, and I've always been aware of myself, and I want to bring that to my sisters. So you don't have to know how to fix everything, but you need to be aware of what's going on and how you're feeling, at least to be verbal about it, to be able to articulate it to other people who are making you feel that type of way or participating in how you feel. And I want that message to be pushed out about awareness of yourself and your own feelings, your own temper, your own, if you're sad, you're happy, whatever, goes with that. You need to be aware of it. Because I used to be a person, I feel like I was ignoring it a lot. And it was easy to just not be distracted by other things, especially when I was a child. Like, it's easy. But you realize when you're an adult, you really need to know. You need to know what's going on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I agree. So it's funny that you had brought up awareness because I just finished a book. Miguel Ruiz is like one of my favorite artists.
Okay.
So Miguel Ruiz Jr. wrote a book, The 5 Levels of Attachment. So not attachment style, but the 5 levels of attachment. And in there, it talks about self-awareness and being aware of like your level of attachment, because level 5 is like the most dangerous level of attachment, to where you have lost awareness of your authentic self.
Yeah.
And you are now so attached to something that it dictates your dream of the planet, basically. Like, you're in this space, and if people don't abide by your particular beliefs or rules because you're so attached, then you begin to attack them, you rule them out. You even attack yourself because you feel like, if I'm not abiding by this rule, then I am lesser than and I don't deserve to live. So when I started reading about that, I was like, darn, I need to be more aware of myself.
Yeah.
Because I believe like spirituality is like going within to find everything, and then religion is looking up to find. So I'm very spiritual. So when I think about stuff, and I'm like, when people tell me different things, sometimes I'm like, that's like, you still sleep. You like, wake up. And it's like, no, idiot, you are on level 4 of attachment. You're losing it all. So it's like, okay, I gotta be more aware of these things that I am sitting here and I'm doing. Like, I can be attached to the fact that, now I'm learning more and more about meat. So I'm pescatarian, but it's no November, so I'm like, no meat at all. But regularly I'm pescatarian, so when I hear people and they like arguing with me about, you need meat, you need proteins, and I'm sitting here like, no, you don't need to eat that. You don't need protein. Do you know that we don't need we're melanin. We don't need that. Do you need to do your research. I can't talk a lot about it, but Yaki awakening. Go look him. So it's like, when I speak on that and I'm listening, I'm like, Indy, you too attached. Because you are trying to basically domesticate people into listening to how you feel. And that's me being more aware of myself. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. Like, eat what you want to, worship how you want to worship, do the things that you want to do. It's not my place to judge you or change you or anything like that. So awareness is definitely important when it comes to growth as well, and attachments.
I had to learn that too, as far as attachment and seeing that everybody's just an experience to me, or everything is just an experience to me and it doesn't belong to me. That was really hard for me to grasp at one point, but I think practice makes perfect, and you have to practice stuff like that. And I began to practice even on the other side of things of once being a people pleaser. So now I don't want to please people because I was people pleasing, so that it was like equating to my value. The more I did for people, the greater I was. The greater in value I was. Or the more I said yes to people and made them happy, the more I was valuable to them and I looked better to them. And so I had to learn, that doesn't matter. And I had to learn that when you come from saying yes so much, when you start saying no, it started to hurt my feelings a lot. Because I'm saying no to family a lot. And it started hurting my feelings a lot. I was just like, man, I gotta say no. But it's practice. I tell people all the time, practice saying no. Let people know you don't want to do it, or why. You don't even have to have a reason. When I learned, I didn't have to have a reason to say no. It was the most freeing thing ever for me.
Let me
the most freeing thing.
it's crazy because you speak on no. So, I said it's no November for me.
Yes.
So one of my no's is learning to say no. Learning to say no without explanation. Learning to say no without feeling any type of remorse. Learning to say no without, like learning to say no without sitting here and being like, oh my gosh, like I just told this person no. Because I'm the type of person, like, I'm so supportive. And it may be something that I truly feel like it's not aligned with me. It kind of disturbs my spirit. Or I could just be tired because I had such a long day and someone be like, hey, I got this event going on. I need you. Or can you come and support? And I'm like, I don't want to come.
Right.
But then I go. And it's like, this isn't fulfilling for me. It's been times like when I lost my place, I was being blessed in different ways, but not knowing that this blessing is going to run short because you don't even know how it feels. Well, I knew how it feels to start from the bottom, but I still brought stuff with me. So imagine leaving, like losing everything from socks to shoes to hats to scarves to every single piece of item. So you have nothing. It's like coming in this world as a child, as a baby, and you're coming out and you have nothing, right? And it was for me and my 3, and I'm sitting here and I'm just giving. Because people are like, oh, I need help with this and I need help with that. And I'm like, well, I got it. Not knowing that you really don't have it. This is finna go like that. You have to make sure that you're taking care of you. So as I was giving, I was taking from what I needed in the long run. Right? So it's a lesson because now I'm like, oh, I'm starting over. Like, I gotta do this and I gotta do this and I still need this and I still need this. And it's like, to this day, I look and I'm like, don't need this. Oh, dang, we need this. Like, this is all gone, not noticing stuff. So it was like, I gotta start saying no. And that was a lesson for me to this day, like, no. Because right now, if I need something, I can probably count on 3 fingers.
That's the real question.
3 fingers of who can come through right now for me. And it's like, no. I can count on 3 fingers who have supported me in so many different ways. No. I can count on 3 fingers who have actually been like, I see what you're doing and I believe in you. Because I'm there for everybody. And it's like a no. So it was people pleasing.
I got the same number, literally. Like the people, because I only keep people around me to where you can be beneficial and supportive to me because that's all I have to give. Like, I feel like I'm a very beneficial friend just in how I am there for people or right. to be there for people. And I need that around me. And when you're a person, I consider myself like a spiritual giver for real. I think that I give and I give and I give and I'm filled up by the Lord. And I don't necessarily, I've never asked really for anything from somebody. I'm giving and I feel like it's always going to come back to me tenfold because I give genuinely.
Right.
But with that being said, I've had to really dissect excess with people because I'm always seeing the good in people. And it's common when you do that you'll be taken advantage of or taken for granted. And so it's rare, 3 people, it's rare that you're going to find people who can give what you give. But I'm also not a person to really go upon like transactional love. I think it's a thing, but I don't want to fall into that. Like I don't want to be like, oh, I gotta, give to get. I just want to give, and then you should want to give to them too. Like any type of relationship I'm in, as far as friends or romance or whatever, like I definitely
reciprocation.
Yeah, reciprocity is important to me, but I'm never expecting people to be Keyuna. I've also had to be aware of that because I've when I step into something and I'm showing up and I'm genuine, I don't speak on nothing that I do for you. But in the back of my mind, I am like, oh, I've done this for them and this for them. And I'm not usually a person to count on it, but now I'm counting it when I know that you're not matching me anything. And I'm drained. I'm drained now and my cup isn't at all. Like it's empty. So for sure, like awareness of the people you're around, awareness of what you give and what others can give to you is so important. Like,
and that is true. Like I was having a conversation and I was speaking and I was like to my partner and I was like, I had noticed and I don't even think he noticed that I was getting teary out of his back. Like I was over there like rolling my eyes because I was like, I don't feel like there is anyone on this planet like me. I feel like God placed me on this planet to provide unconditional love because people don't know what that is. When it comes to transactional, that's conditional love. I don't give that. Like, I do unconditional love, and I am there for every single person that I love and care for. And I don't feel like that people have shown up like that. But then I was like, I understand that no one is me.
Yeah.
I get that. But it's like no one can even match 75% of what the heck I do. It's lonely.
It's so lonely.
It's like,
it really is.
Hi. Like, to everything, like when it's unconditional, it's that loyalty that comes with it, that transparency that comes with it, the protection, the giving of the wisdom, of the healing, of the
support you give,
all the support, everything,
people like
financially, like everything. It's like, hey, God, it's me again.
Okay.
Like, it's me again. Let's have this conversation because thank you for using me as a vessel, but reciprocity?
For sure. I'm a firm believer in servitude, and I'm a firm believer that I'm here to serve people. And I just have and people always looking at me cross-eyed when I say that, for real, like, because I guess it's not a lot of that going around in our generation.
It's not. Especially not in your generation.
For sure. And so, like, yeah, it's definitely lonely because everybody's out there they're only giving so that they can get, and as soon as they get, they're out. But I really equate like conditions to ultimatums. Do this for me and I'll love you. Don't do this for me and I won't love you. All that. But to me, it's just I have boundaries. You're gonna respect me, or you can go. But at the end of the day, like, I don't have necessarily conditions because I never thought you was perfect. But transparency is like a must, and that's a boundary for me because you don't have to be perfect. You gotta be honest, at least, about you not being perfect, at least. Because I think a lot of my generation is trying to save face or trying to put on this mask about who they are or about who they want to be, or just following the trend.
Intentions and everything.
Intentions be all off. Don't nobody really know what they're doing.
They don't. It's my generation as well. So when you speak on transparency and honesty, people kind of get those two and think that they're the same. So I'm big on transparency because transparency is, I don't ask you for the information. You provide me with that because I'm a very transparent person. Hey, I'm going here and with this person, and these people may be here, just so you don't ever question anything. Honesty is me being like, oh, how was your day? Like, how was the dinner? And you be like, oh, it was good. So-and-so was there though. Yeah. Or, oh, these people were there. I didn't know they were going to be there though. Yeah. It's like,
Honestly, can fall under that umbrella of being reactive, I feel like. Because being proactive is coming and telling me all the information. I ain't really have to guess nothing and think about nothing.
Boom.
Being reactive, now you have to work harder. Now you told me something that you should have told me before. And now here we are. We need to discuss that.
Now we got to sit down and have this conversation because what? You got to cross it like, tell me more.
Like, wait a minute.
Tell me more.
And the whole
this is interesting.
And I appreciate so much about being proactive because I'm a person who likes to work smart and not hard.
Yeah,
honestly. So it's like if I can be proactive with stuff and make things easier for me in the long run, and not be reactive and have to work harder, or catch up or play catch up and stuff, and that's like in so much. Being proactive can be done in anything, whether it's meal prepping, whether it's communication, whether it's like stretching before your workouts. Like, I'm telling you,
let's do this.
Proactive is like I'll try to live a life of that for sure, and I'm working on transparency as well because I'm very private and I'm very like to myself for the most part. I'm a socialite and I'm friendly, I would say, but I don't.
I agree. I am very kind, and very friendly.
Yeah.
But I'm working on the friendly part and just being more kind. Kindness is protection.
For sure.
Being overly friendly is people pleasing.
Yeah, for sure.
So
when I think of friendly, I think of like support. Somebody who will be honest with you. Somebody
Okay.
who will. When I think of like the friendly disposition I have, it's just to be kind. Because I also feel like sometimes, like,
Well, nice. That's what I meant. Sorry.
For sure. No, yes, I'm saying, like, sometimes I feel like I should be more nice because I feel like as a friend I'm always gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah.
And speak with compassion. I feel like that's about being friendly. Like, I'm never out because some people, when they just want to be real, they're really just saying shit to hurt you. They didn't really want to be real. Some stuff don't have to be said for real, or some things don't have to be said. Just you have no solution on the other side, and you just wanted to open up your mouth. And so I feel like a magnet. I have no choice to be friendly sometimes because when I go out and I mind my business, people talk to me. I'm so serious.
Why are we
the
the
same? I mind my business.
Why are we the same?
People want to talk
all the time, and then you just gotta sit there and they start telling you their life story. And you, girl, and it's like,
and see, I was raised by my granny, so
I was raised by my granny too.
I have manners. I can't just be out here telling people
just shut up and just go.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta be cordial. That's the issue. So maybe I'm not as friendly because, like, I don't really open up my mouth too much. People just, I'm a magnet. They want to talk. I'm maybe a comfortable space for them. I'm fine with that. I'm just not like rude. Like, I feel like I don't have an attitude. I don't have just this bad attitude to where people feel like they can't come talk to me, and I feel like I don't know. I don't think I don't kiki and cap on everybody's face. I barely want to kiki sometimes. When I get gas,
I want to.
When I'm getting gas, when I'm at the grocery store, when I'm at the gym, those are places I'm by myself. I came there alone to be there.
To be alone.
But like I said, I was raised by my granny, so I can't just be.
Why you say something about the grocery store? Let me tell you, there's this woman at the grocery store, and I was at Sprouts, and I was looking for jackfruit because I was trying to cook.
I love Sprouts.
So, girl, I go in there, and we trying to get in line, and this woman, we thought the line was open, and girl, she was like, I don't know, I just love this store, but the line is da-da-da-da, and girl, she started just telling me everything, and I was just sitting there like, dun, 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 dun. I was like,
yes,
like that's.
I try to be so open with it because I feel like I'm there. I feel like purpose could be small or big.
It could.
Purpose doesn't necessarily mean you have to be this big superstar, make this big money, or move your family out of the gutter. Purpose can literally just be you going into the store and complimenting somebody, and that changed their day. You didn't even know what they were going through. Like, everybody's purpose, everybody has purpose, but everybody's purpose is like daily. You know, it's daily. And I think that even in the times when I don't want to hear nobody's life story, like, I don't be mean about it. Yeah. Maybe there's sometimes I'm more talkative with that person, and then some days I'm not. But I think, like, you need it. I'm here, and you needed this. You know, you're talking, and I didn't say nothing, but you need this time. I will provide it for you. I am here for service. I love to serve. I really do. So it's like,
I think the energy that we give off is what makes people comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I know that people tell me all the time, you're just easy to talk to.
Mm-hmm. You are.
You were just like, you just easy to talk to. You know, I feel like there's no judgment. It's genuine. I can feel the caring. Mm-hmm. I know that most likely if I say something that strikes something, you're going to come with a solution. And I'm like, that's true.
That is true.
That's true. Thank you. So I was like, hey, that's definitely a purpose of mine. So that's why I have been through so much. So when going through different things, like especially suicide, mm-hmm. I know that that one word, that one phrase, that one sentence can change your thought of giving up on life.
Yeah.
Suicide is actually very, very, very selfish.
Yeah.
And when you have those parasitic demons or whatever that you're fighting, sometimes you're not even yourself. You're not aware anymore of anything.
Oh, yeah.
You are overtaken by everything, and you have left the darn building. So at that point, you need people to assist you with getting back to your awareness and who you are and be able to fight the dark and the demons. Mm-hmm. So that's why when people start to talk to me, some days I do have it shield up to where I'm like, I'm not finna say nothing to them. But then there's days where I'm just like, you need help. Mm-hmm. Let me help you. Mm-hmm. And I help through experience, wisdom, knowledge, words.
Same.
So that's why I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. Because I do find, like, when you start saying stuff, Yeah, there's been times where I'm like, buddy, I'm over here walking. I be in nature walking. I'm in nature walking by myself.
It's like I came here by myself for a reason. But like I said, I think it's always good to be kind. You never know what people going through. You never know. You really never know. Like, I've been in a situation where I never knew somebody was going through something. And within the next week, they did commit suicide. And that was so, like, a grieving for me because I was like, man.
You was blaming yourself, self-blame?
Yeah, I felt like I could have did more, could have said more, could have been more available, could have been more supportive. And even at that time, I was going through my own stuff, and I don't ever really lean on anybody. I know that I'm a person that people lean on, so I feel like I should have been there more. And because I wasn't after that, I'm traumatized. Now I feel like whenever somebody, and that was, I feel like, all in the midst of my people pleasing as well, trying to come out of that. And so dealing with it at the same time, I had to find some really good balance, for real. I had to find some really good balance because I didn't want to be in a position like that again, where I feel like I could have did more for a friend, and I didn't. So,
and that's crazy because me personally, now with my growth and my boundaries, at first I was always there, always available to talk, but it's like now, even when it comes to certain situations, like I've been on the side of suicide and I've been on the side of talking to someone who felt like they were ready to commit suicide.
Yeah.
I feel like that, honestly, if they're that deep gone, it's gonna happen. And it's nothing that really anyone can say or do, because suicide is something that you have to work on yourself. You can talk to a counselor.
Yeah, because
you can talk to whoever.
You got to go through the things that you're feeling. Only you can feel what you're feeling. I can't see what you're feeling. I can't feel what you, and it's
But when I told you that one word or that one sentence could possibly help get you back aware.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop you from still having those thoughts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You have to be able to conquer those thoughts. But once you're aware, and you're aware of those thoughts, and those thoughts are not of you, then you're able to start that battle. So you're battling your own demons. That's why they're your own demons. They're no one else's. Right. So I say that to you because I know that you're probably still battling that feeling of guilt.
Yeah.
And you're still healing from that feeling of guilt, and you're trying to overcome it. You have to understand that at the end of the day, it's nothing more that you could have said or nothing more that you could have did to stop it from happening.
And that's something I have to remind myself a lot, because I feel condemned. Like, I feel condemned with that situation a lot. Even when I tell it to myself, I feel condemned. I feel like my body's trying to push it back. Like, you should have did more. But, yeah, that's exactly what I tell myself all the time. That there was nothing I could do. And I knew that this person, since I've known them, has struggled with mental health. Mental illness, for sure. And so, I just... sometimes you just never think about that, or you never think that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
and
especially that close.
And it's like, I to this day, still don't even really know how to feel or what to say or what to do. But for sure, I pray that they're at peace and resting for real. Like, if that's what the mission was, if that's what the goal was, whatever pain they were in, I hope that they're not in it anymore. And I hope that, the time that we had together, meant something. It definitely meant for me. So, for sure. I try to think of the good times. And sometimes in the midst, I'm thinking, or I'm spiraling into the bad times, where I feel like I should have paid more attention there, or that was a sign, that was a sign, that was a sign. But now it's like, I also feel like that prepared me more for what I do now, or for like stuff like what you do now, to help people be more aware of themselves if they need help. Because I also... Even I feel like sometimes, because of the research I do, the reading I do, I got a lot of answers. I don't have all the answers, and I can't help everybody. So, like, I have some people I can point you to. So, like, I don't know the answers, but I'm going to point you to who can, because sometimes I feel like I say it all the time, like, emotional availability is a full-time job. You have to be there for yourself, and then you got a partner. You got to be there for your partner. And then if you got kids or fur babies, whatever, you got to be that for them. So, and this is a full-time job. That's why they call it therapist.
And that's why a lot of times when you do, like, when you are in therapy, because I started taking, like, psychology because of my experience, and a lot of my knowledge do come from experience, so a lot of it do come from, like, reading and things that I listen to on a daily. And I know that I have therapied people out of a lot of things, from relationships to suicide to domestic situations. Same. So it's like, I had promised myself that I'm going to figure out how to be more of a healer. than a therapist or an empath. So when it comes to that, it was more so like I stopped the education because at the end of the day, when I think about stuff, I'm empathetic, but empathy is a superpower, right? Because I can place myself in your shoes and I can feel exactly how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Therefore, I can bring that to me, bring that to my awareness, calculate how I would get through it, and I can provide that back to you.
Yes.
As long as I don't take on the feelings and leave them within me and allow them to overpower my emotions, then I'm good. And that is healing.
Yes.
So once I start to take that on and allow it to overpower me, allow it to weigh me down, allow it to have sleepless nights and bring that energy to everyone that I come in contact with, now this is becoming toxic.
Yeah.
This is draining, and the empathy that provided me with power is now taking away my power and draining me and providing me with weakness.
Exactly.
So I was like, I would love to do that and help people, but I would rather do it my way.
Yeah, exactly. I quit being an empath. I quit.
Oh yeah. I would say I can tell you that I quit being an empath too, but I feel like that's not true with empaths. I feel like that what we're doing now is figuring out a way to be more of healers.
I could attest to that. I just am sensitive. So I couldn't find a balance of if you're going through shit, we're going through shit.
We're going through
and now you're destroyed and I'm destroyed and we're destroyed together. Like, no, I had to give it up. I had to give it up. And now like I said, I had not found balance. So now when people are coming for answers or people might, need advice, I am very, I don't know what the word, I don't want to say like I just reach into this logical awareness state, but I do. We have to, I am going to say, I start there. We have to start there of the situational awareness, being aware of yourself, being aware of the situation, right? Like it's important, and I can't just dive into, if I dive in first into the emotions, we're going to both be crying. And nobody's going to get healed, and nobody's going to feel good at the end of this. I'm going to be upset that so-and-so did whatever. And
right.
It's all, I have to, and it brought me back to like, okay, people being an experience to me, And I also thought like, okay, this is an experience to where, this is a different situation somebody else is having that I can help them with, that maybe I've been through or I haven't been through. I look at it as like that. Especially with like family or friends, I've had to be honest with them and let them know some stuff you cannot come to me with. I'm gonna be so real.
Boundaries,
for sure. And that, I didn't even know that could be a boundary at first. I definitely felt like a bitch when I first said it. I definitely did. I felt like a jerk. But I was like, no, like mentally, it really is bothering me. Emotionally, it really is bothering me. If you're gonna stand around and be in whatever you're gonna be in, I'm always going to, support you and love you, have your back. I have no condition on what you want to do. But at the end of the day, some stuff you cannot come to me over and over with because I'm drained. Because I care about you and I love you. And I can't keep hearing you go through the same thing over and over and nothing be done about it because I'm a solution-based person. I need a solution behind the problem. I don't want to just complain about it and rant about it. And maybe I do sometimes. Give me 5 to 10 minutes. I need that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I need a solution. Like, I need something
that's going to help.
So that's going to make it better.
And that's crazy because that's me as well. Because at the end of the day, I had to start setting boundaries. And that was the first thing that I started telling people.
Really?
For one, don't call me before 12. Before 12, I am sitting here. I am reading. I am filling up my cup. I am sitting here drinking some water. I am over here drinking my chlorophyll. Whatever you want to call it. I am spending time with myself. Do not call me before 12. Don't call me unless you're dying. Okay?
To this day, I'm still getting calls at 6 a.m.
Oh, no, don't call me before 12. Then after that, we can talk about your situation. We can talk about it. I'm going to give you every step to assist you. So I'm going to give you the tools. If you come back to me 2 times, you got 2 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
After that second time. And it's the same shit.
Same shit?
Listen. Yeah. You're not even working on yourself, baby.
You're not.
What did I tell you beforehand?
Yes.
So did you use these steps I'm working on? Okay, well don't come to me unless these steps fail.
Yeah.
And I'm going to know that they fail because you're going to come to me and you're going to have a whole different conversation about the same issue.
Yeah.
So then when that conversation changed and it sounds like you have used the tools that I provided you with.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can talk about
it. Talk about it.
Baby, some of these people started just going against my boundaries, and I was like, oh, you texting me. You texting my gangster.
Your boundaries probably require standing on business.
You texting my gangster.
Yeah.
Now, I know you got to stand on business.
Yeah.
Now I'm not talking to you.
That's what your boundaries require.
Yeah.
That's what your steps probably require too, for people to have to stand on business and really be uncomfortable. That's the issue. And I get it all the time. Like, I tell people, or I tell my sisters all the time, I be like, watch what you do, watch what you say. Because accountability is uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Accountability. And I tell you all the time, everybody's like, oh, nobody wants to be accountable. Why would they? It's uncomfortable. It's not for the weak. Because when you fuck up, or when you make mistakes, or when you do something stupid to yourself, to other people, you have to be an account of that. You got to take that on through the emotions. You got to learn how to not do that shit again. You got to learn how to forgive yourself, forgive that person. Situation. It's a process. And people don't want to go through that. People want to act like they don't do nothing. No. It's easy. I mean, like, I'm sure it's easy for me. It's always been easier for me to take accountability because I would just own my shit. Yeah. I don't want, like, I feel like I'm in control of Keyuna. So if I fuck up or not, Keyuna did that. And I could, like, it's just always been important to me. I can remember, like, being in 3rd grade, doing dumb stuff and being called out. And I'd be like, yeah, I did, because I did, and I think it's important to you. It's because
accountability. I would take accountability, but I had been stuck in a victim mindset for a long time. When you're in a victim mindset, accountability is out the window.
It's everybody else's fault.
It's everybody's fault. They did this to me. Yeah. I didn't do this. I never allowed this. They forced me to allow it. Like,
that's like the family and friends I run into today, where I have to remind them, like, we are grown-ups now.
Yeah.
What we allow around us is what we allow around us. What we allow to go down, the disrespect, lack of boundaries, or whatever, we allow that now. After 1 or 2 times, it's not their fault.
It's yours.
It's yours. You have control. You have control to sit still. It was hard, whether you're attached to whatever situation is that you can't bring yourself out of. I understand that for sure. But it's like you got to take into account the participation that you play, like, you play a part.
But the first thing that comes with accountability is awareness.
Yeah.
And the problem is, a lot of people aren't
aware of what they do.
They're not aware of what they do. They're not aware of what they allow around them. If you can't be aware of yourself, how are you aware of anyone else?
No.
So that's the problem. You can't take accountability for anything that is happening within your life because you're not even aware of what you're allowing in your life.
Exactly.
And that is where everything comes into place. Everything goes, if you start thinking about stuff with your growth, with what you allow in your life, what's happening in your life, how you're reacting, how you're being proactive or reactive, going back to that.
Yes.
Just who you are allowing to be around you, how you are starting to treat others, how you are taking in others, how your energy actually pulls in different people to you.
Yes.
It all begins with awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware of your mindset because what you think is what you speak.
Yeah.
So when you start being aware of your thoughts, then you'll start talking differently.
Yes.
And you'll start acting differently. You'll start seeing things play out differently.
Yeah.
And it's going to all start to make sense to you. Nothing is ever going to make sense to you. So you're never going to be able to be accountable for shit because it doesn't make sense because you're not aware of what you're doing, how you're thinking, how you're talking, how you're acting, who's around you. It's like,
and that's why I love your podcast so much, for sure. Especially with I don't know her name. She had locks.
Locks.
I think she had locks.
She probably did. She's like Keyuna.
Maybe.
Her name Keyuna.
Like, what she look like?
She's like
Keyuna was no, not her. I was gonna say that's the one. I know who Keyuna is. Yeah, I'm talking.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Dark skin.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say, I like your podcast, or I love your podcast for sure, and that was a big thing because I thought that you're kind of doing what I'm doing and bringing awareness to people to be aware. Some people don't even know that they're not aware of, like, their triggers or traumas, or the way they talk or they speak to people, or how they move, or their attitude, and it's important. Because I think at one point that's where I wasn't aware, or actually I've always been aware. I was ignoring it. Like, I've always been sensitive, but I hated being sensitive my whole life. I hated being vulnerable. I hated talking about my feelings or caring about things. I always care deeply and shit that you wouldn't even think to be caring. Like, the way I care about this world and, like, or just like political things, racial things, or like minute.
And I don't give a damn.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I care about shit like that. Like, I do, genuinely. Other shit, like, it's a lot of things I don't give a damn about, but those things I'm sensitive about. Those topics I'm sensitive about. Family, I'm sensitive about. You know, and I always used to hate myself for that because I used to be shunned by my parents for being sensitive. They always, you know, throw that in my face. Like, that was something to be ashamed of, and so I chose to be ashamed of it.
Ooh.
And for sure, and as I grew up and became so hard body, that's why this year is so important to me, because this is the first year in a long time where I feel like I don't have to be hard body. Like, I'm sensitive and about certain things for sure. And, you know, that's okay for me. Like, the things I talk about on my podcast, I'm sensitive to, you know, being nice, being kind, or just hypersexuality in my generation, or femininity. Like, those are things that I care about.
Podcast dope, y'all. Y'all better tap in, baby. Okay, sorry. Okay, keep going. I had to throw that out there.
No, it's just like I said, that's just another reason why I like
I didn't know she was 45, but I thought she was older. Like, my age, because listen, I just learned some stuff on her. Like, okay.
That's important to me, and that's why the inner child is out, because little girl Keyuna was sensitive and like about certain things for sure, and was never cared for or appreciated for that or valued for her sensitivity. And so now it's my job to do that for myself. And I've even had to, like, I think God's put it into play to where now I have to be more emotionally available to my parents to show them what that really is.
Yeah.
To show them what it is, to create space for them, that it's okay if you feel this way. Like, I'm here to validate that with you.
Right.
Because I think that emotions aren't necessarily a choice, but behaviors are. Like, you're going to feel how you feel. You're going to feel how you feel, even if you don't want to feel that way. But how you act off of that matters.
Yeah.
Your perception of that and your reputation.
That's what
wanting to crash out. Everybody want to crash out, but you know what I'm saying? How you act matters. How you carry yourself matters. And shit's going to hurt. You're going to feel how you feel. Because I used to be one of the people thinking, I can control my feelings. Oh, that shit don't matter to me. But that ended up making me numb. Yeah, it ended up making me so numb. And so, what's the word?
Numb and toxic is definitely
disassociating.
Oh yeah, disassociating yourself with a lot of stuff.
I heard about that too.
That's basically you trying to create a void on everything. Girl, what a lot of people don't understand is no emotion is negative. Your reaction to that emotion is negative. You're supposed to feel every single emotion that you feel. Every emotion is important, even the uncomfortable emotions. Anger is uncomfortable. Sadness is uncomfortable. You know, regret, remorse, all of these are uncomfortable emotions, but they are essential to the balance in your life.
They're so essential.
It is your reaction to them. But once you learn to sit in that and release that in the most healthy way that you can, because you can release anger in a very healthy way. You can release sadness in a very healthy way. All of these things you can release. Anger, you can take a pillow and scream.
That's true.
You can scream that out as much as you have to, and that is healthy for you. It's healthy for you to feel it. It's healthy for you to understand it. It's healthy for you to break it down and understand what triggered your anger. It's understanding how it was triggered, how you actually reacted to this trigger, where the trigger came from, and how you can make sure that you don't react the way that you do, and how you can make sure that you're not triggered how you were triggered. That's all a part of healing.
Yes.
So a healthy way is to scream.
Yes.
And it feels so good when you release it. But when you hold in that anger and you be like, ooh, I swear to God, that's when you start to become toxic. Then that anger starts turning into you want to go and attack other people. Boxing is a way to release anger. Yeah. That's healthy. You know what I'm saying? Versus going on the street and beating up somebody for stepping on your damn shoes on accident. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or taking a gun because you lost a damn fight that you probably even had some point of doing. You lost a fight. Now you want to shoot somebody and take their life. Like this, that's negative. That's bad. But when you go and you be like, I'm going to get in the ring and just box it out in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Releasing anger in a healthy way. So that's what I mean by you can actually take those emotions, allow them to not consume you, and release them. Those emotions are meant to be released.
The most beautiful thing you've said.
Well, thank you.
For sure. Because I'm having such a big problem with pent-up aggression. I am. Like, I have such a big problem with releasing because I don't want to. If I hold it in myself, I'll become miserable, and then I want company for that. I want company to meet my misery, and now everybody will be misery. miserable around me.
Like,
for real.
Like, yeah, you're gonna come in.
And that's how it is. Like, you can always tell. You can always tell people are mad because they'll be miserable and they want you to join them in their madness. They don't want to be in that alone. I get it. Human for sure. I get it. But I think, like, I don't want to, I know I don't want to take it out on nobody else, but I'm so hard on myself. I keep it in. And so I'm learning to find ways for pent-up aggression. I like to write. I like to read. I like to sing. I like to work out. I like to, so I find those things, but sometimes I'll be honest, those things aren't enough for me because I think I've got built up like old stuff that, baggage that I still unpack now that I've, you take it out the suitcase, it's been in the suitcase for years. It stinks now. And now I'm just looking at this clothes everywhere on the floor, metaphorically, and it's just like, you really gotta, I'm trying to find a way to deal with it. I don't, big advocate for like people such as yourself. Therapists, I've had therapists before.
They don't work. Not all the time. I mean, they work to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, like for real. And so with that, and I actually feel like I've had more better therapy sessions with like my brother, or like, I probably have a better one with you. Like, so it's, I think that I'm finding myself, of course, every day, but definitely finding a way to let go of like my emotions because I'm emotional and I be sensitive, and some shit just really grinds my gears. And I need to find a way to let that go so I don't be snappy on people.
Yeah, and I get that. And when I was going through a lot of things, like I said, I've been through a lot in life, and it was times where, honestly, when I was going through the pain and I was having anger and frustration, I didn't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
And people would know when something was wrong because they wouldn't hear from me. I wouldn't come around. I would disappear. I would be gone. And they'd be like, what the? Okay, she not answering my phone calls. Okay. Like, one of my best friends, she had pulled up to my house with the guy that she was dating at the time.
That's me.
And was like, girl, they was ready for war. It was like, you've been asking for 2 weeks.
I'm that type of friend. I'm pulling up.
What's going on?
I talk to you this weekly and I ain't heard from you.
I ain't heard from you. What's going on? So it had been that point. So now I'm like, okay, let me be better with this. But I get it because I felt like I was taking my anger out on the people that's closest to me. And the closest to me was my children. So now it's like, I don't do that. And when I say taking my anger out, I don't mean by putting my hands on them. I mean by having a short fuse for them.
Yes, intolerant for sure.
And very intolerant. Yeah. It was like, hollering. Like, switch out his
a switch. Yeah,
like,
a switch.
And then it's like, it'll be times where I'm just like, I done been, like, I had the worst day, and now they want to be up underneath me, and I'm like, just go to your room, just leave me alone. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, when I think back on it, girl, I be crying still sometimes. It's like, oh my God, my baby's like,
yeah.
So I get it when you say that with the anger thing. I always used to say, misery love company.
Yes.
But I would always tell people, I'm not the misery that loves company. Stay away from me.
And you know what? And that's why I agree when you say isolation, because I have a problem with that as well, where I will go ghost on people. And I will, in a sense, no babies to take it out on. But definitely, like, now whatever I'm going through has me mistrusting just everybody, even if they've never even given me a reason. And so therefore I'm isolating because not even myself, maybe in a situation do I trust. And I feel like sometimes isolation is the best for me, but I don't know. So sometimes I feel like it gets too much where it's like, okay, this is unhealthy. And I know if I keep going deeper, I'll get comfortable like this. I will get comfortable in isolation where, no, I'm not going out. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm eating by myself. I'm everything by myself because I grew up like that. I grew up independent. I grew up only child for 10 years. So in that span, I'm
the baby of the family. So,
and I'm the oldest. That's crazy.
But I felt like I was the oldest. So it's like, I feel like I'm the oldest. Like okay. Wow. But when I look back, that's why I can say sometimes I can become codependent when I know that I'm going into a dark space. Because I'm like, trust me. you don't want me to go and be isolated. You don't want me to isolate.
I don't know if I'm coming back.
I don't know if I'm gonna come back.
I might get comfortable.
And I'm gonna go there, and it's gonna be a month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, and then you're gonna be like, what in the heck? And it's because now that I done isolated myself and I done figured out a way to start to do everything by myself independently, I'm gonna figure out, like, it's gonna become a comfort for me, and I don't need it. And I don't want to get to that space because I've been there before.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't want me to do that.
Yeah, you start to neglect the people who really do care. And
yeah.
That was my biggest thing, because I couldn't see or think outside of myself and how it's right. To where I could be like, I'm thinking, ain't nobody really checking for me. Or I kind of always had that thought in my head coming up. Like, ain't nobody really checking for me. Is that what they're, I could just go off and woo woo. It's not like that, especially nowadays. Like, I tried that recently. My brother pulled up on me solid. Like,
he was like, yeah, what you got going on?
You good? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You got me.
You know how I am. But I'm definitely like that. D&D strong. Like, I don't have no D&D where you can call me twice and it hits.
I don't need either.
You will never.
I got it on to where you can't do it. No.
D&D for a reason. You don't need me.
You don't need
right now. If it's an emergency, I'll get a voicemail, I'll get a text, and I'll read it. I'll see it. But at the end of the day,
don't. And girl, I would find myself putting my phone on personal. Okay? I don't want nothing. Don't call me. Don't text me. I'm not impossible. Okay? You can't reach me.
I'm gonna start using that whole 12 p.m. boundary thing you got, because I'm so serious. When I say I get like in the morning call, and here I am answering it. What you need? Like, if people watching this, they gonna know. They gonna know who they are. But yes, like
after I feel like that
after 12
because it's time. I'm sorry, I done started choking. It's time for you to. Sorry, y'all. It's time for you to fill up. It's time for you, like, that time is for you.
So crucial.
It is. So it's for you.
Yeah, for sure.
It is definitely for you to do what you need to do for yourself. And once you start doing that and you start setting that boundary, then it's easy for you to do it. It's going to take some time.
Like I said, practice. Like, practice of awareness and boundaries, or even like people pleasing. I just love the practice that I put into that. I can't even remember, like, the first time I said to no. And it was my dad, honestly. And, he's somebody I never really, my granny, my whatever, like, somebody I never said no to. But for me, becoming an adult, that was like that was the starting point. And since then, I ain't never looked back. Like, since then, I feel like, practice, I really believe practice will give you better preparation, and you can be prepared for things when you practice. And like, people pleasing, boundaries, you gotta, if you've grown up people pleasing, or you've grown up and you never set boundaries, that's what you gotta practice for real. Yeah. Like, you have to just start with someone somewhere. Start, and it will be freeing.
It definitely will.
I do agree.
Oh, listen, and on that note, y'all, this was a good conversation.
This was a great conversation.
I love it.
Can we have another one?
I can't. Oh my God. Y'all, it's going to be like switch platforms. And if y'all want to see her back, let me know. I think she would be honored to come back, and I will be honored for her to come back. Before we end, do you have any closing words or any type of motivation, inspiration, knowledge, anything to assist someone that may need assistance, especially when it comes to awareness?
I guess I'll just end it with this message and let people know that it's a fluke to say time heals. Time heals all wounds. I don't believe that. I don't think anybody else should believe it as well. It's inner work that really heals wounds. You have to put in work to get in on the other side of healing. If you sit around letting the clock tick, you'll end up like how people end up in their 40s or 50s or 60s and still traumatized, still triggered, still bitter, still resentful. And so don't let time pass you. I mean, time is going to pass. It's going to hurt less, whatever you're going through. But make sure that you're understanding that whatever you just went through did change you, did change your mindset. And you need to take care of yourself and really put the inner working in. Every day, weekly, however, just don't sit around thinking that time is going to heal you. Because I did that one time. It wasn't it. It wasn't it because you think that you're over something, and then something else comes up that puts you right back in that time space. So time went on, but it's the same clock, or the same number on the clock. You really didn't go anywhere. So it's just important to, work on yourself and continue to watch her podcast and my podcast.
And then you're gonna,
you'll be
A1.
Okay.
I'm talking about you're gonna be like seriously. And remember, healing is a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
So healing is not something that's gonna just. It's not a final destination. It's not a final destination. Just know that. But I definitely agree with what she said. So go ahead and give them your handles, your social media handles.
Yes. My podcast on YouTube is KeysWordtoLife. Is KEYS. Word and then 2 life. You can also find that on TikTok. You can find it on my Instagram as well and my Facebook. So yeah.
Awesome. Y'all make sure that y'all follow her, subscribe, like, share, watch her videos, comment, all that other good stuff. And we want to thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. It was definitely a pleasure.
Sure.
And make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and comment on mine. Turn on your notifications. All you gotta do is hit that bell. If y'all do find some clips that y'all want to repost, make sure you tag both of us. Yes. And we will definitely repost you as well. Thank you so much for coming on, for having this great conversation.
Anytime. Y'all stay beautiful.
Stay beautiful. Peace, love, and light.
I like that. That was cute.
Thank you.